What does it mean to fall in love with English? This is how Elisa and I started our conversation that I'm about to share with you. Elisa is one of my dear, dear students, and she has been learning with me for years. And I had the privilege and honor to see her go from being so quiet and so timid to being the most expressive, creative, and outgoing version of herself in English, and you will see for yourself. Her journey is truly inspiring because at every step of the way, she challenged herself and was able to break another glass ceiling and another glass ceiling that she has set for herself. This conversation is going to be about fluency, about courage, about limiting beliefs, about perfectionism and how to overcome it, and about letting your voice be heard. She will share it from her personal experience and also talk about the universal experience of speaking English as a second language. I am so excited about this conversation and I can't wait to share it with you. So let's go ahead and listen to it. Hello, hello, Elisa. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you, Hadar. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so, so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your story here on my channel. And I'm excited for this conversation. I've known you for so many years. And I told you right before we started recording that it's time for me to share you with the world. So
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I didn't want to, but now I have to. So there we go. Okay, so would you like to quickly introduce yourself for those who are
Yeah.
not in our community and don't know you?
Yeah. So, hi everyone. I'm Elisa and I'm Italian and I live in Italy. I work in hospitality and I use English at work to communicate with international guests. But that's actually not the main reason why I started working on my English because, as far as I can remember, I've always been attracted to this language and to its sounds. And and if you ask me why, I don't really have an answer for that because it's like when you love someone and people ask you why do you love this
Why?
person. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can list all the beautiful qualities that the person has, gentle, caring, kind, but at the end of the day, you just love that person and
You
that's it.
love that person.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel kind of the same about English.
So
And
wait, but so I have a question about this. When was the first time, maybe when you were a kid, Lisa the kid, that you started developing emotions and feeling
I
for English?
yeah, yeah. It was when I look back at when I was a little girl, maybe in elementary school, or even before that. I feel like my very first English practice was kind of pronunciation practice because let me explain.
Tell me.
uh, yeah, because I'm a millennial, and back then we had these boombox. I think I don't know if it's the proper name. Those portable music players that include both a radio and a cassette player. So I used to wait for my favorite English songs to be played on the radio, and I would record them on my cassette tapes. And I was creating my personal playlist because there was no streaming back then, so you had to wait if you wanted to listen to your favorite song. Actually, you had to wait for many things back then, but that's another story. Anyway, once I had this playlist, the interesting thing is that I couldn't understand a single word yet because I couldn't speak English, but I wanted to be able to sing the songs right away. So what I would do is something that I think that many millennials or even older generations maybe can relate to. I would, grab my cassette player and my cassette tapes. I would press play for a very short part of the song, of a song, and then press pause and write down what I could hear. So not the real lyrics, of course, but the sounds that my ears could perceive, and I would, repeat this process until the end of the song and for each song. So eventually I have my personal versions of, of the lyrics, and I was happy because I could sing them. So yeah, bottom line.
What wouldn't I just have to say, like, what wouldn't I give to have these papers with the songs transcribed? I would pay a lot of money to see it right now. So if you
I don't
find
know if I
it,
still. I don't know. Yeah, I should, but I don't know if I still have them somewhere. Probably because yeah. But
just it.
yeah,
Would love to have them, to see them, because it's so interesting to see how you perceived certain words and what you like. Because the brain, if you don't know words, then
yeah,
all of a sudden you write these very different things that you hear, which is
yeah.
sometimes we do that in our own language. Okay, so this is the first, like when you had the infatuation with English, when you started falling in
Yeah,
love with English and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
music
yeah,
and sounds and rhythm. Now everything makes sense. Good.
yeah.
And yeah, so this is why you wanted to explore more.
Yes, and I have to say that my relationship with English has been on and off over the years, because there were moments when I was really motivated and fully committed, and moments where when I felt that I wanna give up. But somehow uh, English always found its way back into my life.
What a beautiful
Yes.
way to say it. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So of course I started studying English at school, but the English that you study at school, I think many people told you that. It's for me. I think it's really, I don't know how to say, really scholastic. So not really the way that I wanted to learn English. And then there was a moment off, and then during my last year of university, I decided that I wanted to improve. So I also enrolled in a private English school. So I had a group classes, and there was some space also for a conversation classes, but the conversation that you have in these when there are many people, it's not that fluid, because
Yeah.
maybe you get to answer a couple of questions
Exactly.
briefly, and then they need to move on to another person, of course. So I felt like I didn't really have the chance to speak in a natural and fluid way. And so before coming across your programs, I also explored another English course online. Not for long, actually, but I mean, it was not bad. It was really good. But no, to keep a long story short, I felt like it was not the right fit for me.
Ah,
So
good.
because what I was really craving again was a course that a program that focuses on sound, the English sounds, the melodies. So when I finally found something like that, I said, wow. I was like I felt like I was reconnecting with Kid Elisa,
Yes, yes, absolutely. Right?
Yeah,
Like giving space and room for you as a kid and
yeah.
in your adult life. Before we continue with the story chronologically, tell me one thing that you're doing now regularly or that you can do that 10 years ago, 10 Elisa from 10 years ago would say impossible.
Sitting here today with you. That, I mean, first of all, this was
Oh my God.
uh,
Yes.
unthinkable, and I don't know. Many, actually, there are so many. Just one thing, it's not enough, because there are many things that I can do today that were not possible for me some years ago. I don't know. I can speak without overthinking every single word that I'm saying, or I can express myself fully, and not giving just the basic answers, the safe answers, because when I had before you before your
Or
programs.
you met, yes.
Yeah. Even when I had the chance to answer a question in those English classes, but also in general, when I had the chance to answer a question, I would always go for the basic answers, the safe answers, because I used to stop myself. I used to tell myself, that's it. Don't say more, because if you say more, you're gonna make a mess. So I was limiting myself. So I was my
But
own
like what a
obstacle.
powerful limiting belief that is, right? Like
Yeah.
before you're gonna make a mess. And I love because I think it makes so much sense for people who feel like they could be all over the place or get distracted or not be perfect or something like that. And I think that when you have that thought, how limiting it is. And how is it limiting you?
I was not speaking. So uh,
Period.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it was
Wow.
very, I was I was stuck. So the point is that until that moment, I kept consuming and consuming English with podcasts and watching videos, YouTube videos, or movies in English, and listening to music, and so on and so forth. But I I was afraid of speaking, and it was something that I needed to overcome, because it was like a vicious circle. Because I felt like no, I'm not ready to speak yet. I'm not. I don't know enough to speak. I'm not prepared enough. So I kept postponing this moment, and of course, I felt stuck, because if you don't do something, you cannot get better at something. And it is like that for any skill in life. So if you want to improve, you need to practice.
You
You won't
gotta
have
do
the
the thing you want to do, right? Like if you want to do something and you don't do that something,
yeah. So
yeah,
it's not magic. So you
not
have to
that.
do something.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the moment I realized that I needed to change that, everything changed.
Everything changed.
So yeah.
And not overnight, because you
No, no, no,
built
no.
it, like I've known you for many years, and like you've built it, it's kind of like layer by layer by layer by layer until now, you're the things
So
that you're doing are just, yeah.
I think that you need to be willing to start uh, speaking in a messy way, because at first it will be super messy sometimes, and that's okay, because we are just starting something, so that's okay. And you will make a lot of mistakes, and that's okay too, because that was another uh, another issue. But mistakes are the only way to improve. Mistakes are part of life, so it is it's how it works. So actually, I started with accent makeover. My journey with you, because I realized at a certain point, once I realized that I was stuck, and I wanted to do something, I also realized that one of the things that was holding my speaking back was pronunciation. Not only that, but also pronunciation. And since pronunciation, I have a thing for
Clearly.
for the sounds of it. Yeah, I decided that instead of, because I didn't want to just speak English. I wanted to sound clear, and I wanted people understand me easily. So instead of trying everything at once, I I made a decision, and my decision was to start with pronunciation. And that's when I joined Accent Makeover, that later became New
New
Sound.
sound. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I started with that. And then beyond arrived, because in Accent Makeover and the New Sound, I did all the work, sorry. In Accent Makeover, I did all the work, but I was not ready to expose myself yet. So I did all that on my own, even if there was a community in Accent Makeover, but I didn't feel ready. Yeah, this word. But when Beyond arrived and I joined Beyond, that was my game changer for me, because by that time, of course, I had already done some inner work, and I had already built some foundation with the pronunciation and intonation, and the prosody, English prosody. And so I really wanted to practice, and I was ready to take actions. And that's what I did from the very first moment that I joined Beyond. I started to be very active very soon, and started to make videos, and I started to post them inside the community, and I started to interact with all the other members, and all of that had really a great effect on my improvements. Yeah.
What do you think, what has worked so well for you when it comes to making videos? Because this is how I got to know you more kind of like deeply, is just like really watching your videos when you first started, when it was years ago, right? Like when you started posting daily or almost daily your videos,
No,
sharing
not daily,
thoughts,
daily.
it was daily, it was daily. By the
Sorry.
door, like perfect lighting, perfect
Yeah.
angle. And I'm curious how you think making videos helped you. I mean, I know it helped me. Just creating content for YouTube has made me a much better speaker and communicator. And I've seen it with my students, but I want you to talk about your own personal experience, how working with videos has helped your fluency and your confidence.
When I joined Beyond, I started to see that there were other members that were posting videos, and then I said, okay, I think that this can be a an interesting way, an useful way to improve my speaking, because you need to speak. When you record a video, you do that because you speak for like 2 or 3 minutes talking about something in English. So you are practicing. That's your goal. You're practicing your speaking, and it was helpful because I soon realized that there was, other than the main challenge with videos for me, there was like another a challenge within the challenge, because the main challenge was speaking in English for like 2 or 3 minutes. And then I started to realize that since I was not used to making videos, I was not used to seeing myself on camera. I realized that I I didn't like what I was, my face, my expressions, my movements, my hand gestures, and I'm Italian, so I move a lot, and and my voice. Basically, I didn't like anything, and my goals was to overcome all of these side struggles too. So that's why I didn't give up, because I was really determined to overcome all of these side struggles other than the speaking one. And I'm happy that I didn't give up, because I feel that I'm stronger, and I am more confident. I mean, I'm not just a more confident English speaker. I'm more confident as a person in general, because I worked on all of those side struggles that came up.
So Yeah, so talk to me about how developing in a language is intrinsically connected to developing personally. Because I think a lot of people, when they come to learn a language, they think, okay, I just need to learn the words and the grammar and then I'll be able to speak. But it's almost like you have to think about it. I believe that, this is my method, and I think some people connect with it and some people don't. You transform into someone new who speaks another language, and that language can carry who you are and your personality. So I think that when you really transform your English, in our case, you also transform personally. And I think that was the case for you. So what do you think about that, and how has that played out for you?
So I feel like the English language gives me the chance to show um, other aspects of who I am. I mean, maybe aspects that in Italian are not so visible. In English, they show up more. Maybe there are some, in some contexts, in English, I might be more expressive or more outgoing. Maybe in the exact same context in Italian, I might be more reserved or more careful of the words that I'm using, but not because I'm a different person. It's just because the expressiveness of the
Yes.
language,
Yes.
yeah, the expressiveness of the language gives me this chance, this opportunity, and I feel like it's a kind of a richness. It's not a limitation. I don't feel like I'm a different person. I feel like I'm the same person. It's just that English shows more some aspects of me that in Italian are more not so visible. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't.
And I
Yeah.
think, but I think also that to be able to get to that place, like being so incredibly expressive, even more in English than in your first language, you have made a lot of, shifts in how you think, how you manage perfectionism. We talked about it, right? Like how you show up, like inner transformation in your confidence, limiting beliefs, thinking, how you perceive yourself. And I think that is an essential part of being able to get to that place, because it wasn't just learning the pronunciation, it was really you showing up regularly in interacting with a community, challenging yourself, managing that voice that kept saying you're going to make a mess, you got to say it correctly, you're too much, you're not enough, right? Like all these voices that we hear, it's like really learning how to manage them.
Yes, and I mean, it's a huge part of the journey because I think that the mindset work that we also have inside New Sound, it was really important for me because if you have all these again, if you have all these limiting beliefs, and if you keep telling yourself if you keep limiting yourself with your own words, uh, you're not gonna be able to succeed, in what you wanna become, in what you in the English speaker that you wanna. No, you're not gonna succeed. You're not gonna succeed, and. Working on my limiting beliefs was a huge part of my English journey. Uh, because when you work on that, everything else unlock somehow.
So
And
talk to me. Can you be more specific and say, for example, let's say someone watching this right now has this fear of making mistakes, right? And I know you've had it. So what would you tell them? What did you tell yourself to be able to overcome it?
So I think that you need to stop. You need to shift the focus. You don't when you are speaking, because usually when we are afraid of making mistakes because when we are communicating with the other person, you don't want to sound stupid. You start overthinking all these things like, oh my god, was it the right word? Was it the right pronunciation? Was it the right way to say it, or was it the most natural way to say it? And if you don't shut down all these thoughts, all these voices in your head, you're gonna it will drive you crazy. So you need to make that shift. and and the shift was, instead of focusing on every single word that I was saying or the mistake that I might make while speaking, I decided that I needed to focus on the message. That's it, on what I needed to communicate, because that's what it is important at the end of the day. So the connection, the communication itself. So it might seem like a subtle shift, a silly shift, but it's not. It really changes everything in your
So just
speaking.
shift from thinking about your mistakes and editing your thoughts or your words
Yeah.
to just think about what is your message, what it is that you want to
Yes.
say, and the other
Exactly.
person.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. And that worked for you.
It worked for me. Of course, there are days where I
It's a
feel,
spectrum.
yes,
It's kind of like,
you
yeah, it depends on the day
yeah,
too.
I
Yeah,
need to work on myself.
we all do.
I needed to work on myself. Yeah. And another
Yeah.
limiting belief that I needed, another major shift happened when I stopped saying myself those limiting words. Like for example, when everything new, when I needed to try everything, something new or a new challenge, I used to say, no, that's not. I used to tell myself, no, that's not for me. That's not my thing. Or I don't know, I'm not able to do this. I'm not gonna do this. But then I started thinking, oh, wait a minute. Do I have proof of that? I mean, do I have real evidence that I'm not able to do this? So let me try. So I realized that before saying that, I actually needed to try that something. And when I started to say yes to new things and to new challenges, it was mind blowing, because I've noticed that I was capable of doing much more than I had imagined. And that little shift, again, that subtle shift was from I cannot do that, I'm not able to do that, to let me try. I mean,
Yes.
it's, again, it seems subtle, but
That's
it's,
the compound effect, right? Like it's small decisions, small changes that make
yeah,
a huge difference that at the moment they don't see much. But also
yeah.
you have made big decisions, not big decisions, but like you took risks and like you had courage to do things. What are some of the things that
Well,
you are most
I
proud?
had, I mean, I don't want to sound like, oh, yeah, I'm so brave. Yeah, because, yeah, in a way, I'm brave. But I feel like my very first reaction was, and I think it will always be, a little bit of resistance at
Yes.
first. But the point is that now I know that I need to push through and, to step out of my comfort zone. But,
This is so good. So that resistance that a lot of people use as intuition, as like a negative feeling that is associated as fear, maybe it's just testing you to see how willing you are to push through and to challenge yourself so you can actually grow. And you said
yeah.
like I'm accepting the challenge whenever I feel that resistance.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because usually it's a sign that you had to do that when you
Yes.
experience that resistance, right? Like it was for the videos. At first, I was experiencing this resistance, and that's how I felt that was the right thing to do. Okay, do it.
Yeah.
And
I'm just going to name some of the things that I've seen you do in the community. First of all, post regularly. You host conversation groups. You
yeah,
came to a meetup, and I got to meet you twice already in real life.
yeah,
You have a podcast in our community and beyond. You are a very, very dominant, supportive member of the community, so you give a lot to other members of the community. We did this crazy musical video from
yeah,
Chicago. six women inside Beyond, and that was like very ambitious and incredible
And super
singing
fun. And
and
super fun
super
too.
fun and super fun. So it like it's like you like to experience the resistance and the challenge and to be able to achieve it. Did I what else do you feel like you're uh,
I think you mentioned basically
I
everything.
mean it's a lot
Be-
already.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like to experience that first part, the resistance and all these struggles, but I for sure I like the following steps. When
Yeah,
you
the other
overcome
side.
all of that,
Yes.
yeah, that feeling is incredible. The other side, exactly. The other side is incredible. Yeah.
Talk to me about the importance of community in your journey and what it means for you in, as Elisa, not as an English student, right? Like personally. And just for context, we are in you're a part of you've been in USAM, but you're also have been inside of Beyond for many years. Beyond is our English fluency community. And yeah, so talk to me about what it has been for you to be a part of this community.
It was everything. So I had to be honest. At first, I really underestimated the power of the community because when I joined Beyond, I was really focused on myself, on my English journey, on my improvements, and somehow when I joined, I was expecting the support of, your support and the support of all the coaches. Incredible coaches. I love them all. And for sure, once I joined Beyond, the support that I experienced and I'm still experiencing today is a lot more than the one that I was expecting, for sure. But I was expecting that somehow. What I was not expecting was the impact of being surrounded by people who have the same struggles, the same fears, and these people, when you feel like you don't when you feel like you're tired, that you're not motivated, when you feel like you want to give up, when you have these bad days, we all have these bad days and bad moments. During these bad moments, the community can become your fuel. In my case, it was like that, or at least this community. I want to talk about, I want to be
Clearly, yes.
specific. I want to be specific because, these
There are
communities,
communities that could suck your energy instead of
yeah.
offer you more. Yeah.
And because these people, are people who understand you, who push you, encourage you, who challenge you, who tell you that you can do it, and even when you don't believe that, they make you believe that it's possible. So it's a huge, like the biggest part, I would say, of my English journey. And I didn't just found English speaking partners in the community. I found real friendships, and it was like I didn't see that coming. It was totally
Yeah.
unexpected, and it's so beautiful. And because what I was not realizing at first when I was focusing just on myself is that growth becomes easier and faster, and even not even and most importantly more meaningful when you don't do it alone. And an interesting thing is that one of my dreams when I was a little girl was to be able to speak with people from all over the world. And one of the things that helped me the most to achieve this goal, it was actually people. So I think that I don't
Right.
know that.
You need people for to be able, first
Yeah,
of all, to be able to speak, right? Like,
yeah,
it's so important and to get feedback and to see how your words land. Like it's so
yeah.
incredibly important. And I love it that it wasn't about that. It wasn't what you signed up for, but it's what you received and it has, like
It was even
really
better. It
created
was
impact.
even better. Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah,
even better. Yeah, our
yeah,
community is really, really the most remarkable community ever. I'm
yeah.
biased, but I'm also objective. So,
I think that you are
um,
objective.
Thank
Period.
you. What is what would you say your goals are moving forward
Uh,
when it comes to
so
English, when it
right,
comes to,
I don't know.
yeah.
Right now, I'm kind of, I'm open to possibilities. I don't really have right now a specific goal that I want to achieve. Right now I feel like I need to keep consistent, keep improving because of course, especially with the language, it's important to be consistent because how they say, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So you need to do the work. So I'd love to help people who now feel the same way that I did.
And I think you're already doing that by sharing. First of all, like you're doing it right now, sharing your
Yeah.
story because, people look at you and say, okay, she's so expressive and so confident, and they might feel
Oh, yeah.
so distant from that experience. But this, you were like that before. You were reserved, you were quiet, not wanting to make a mess, and this is no
Yeah.
longer your reality. And a lot has changed for you because of that, which is remarkable.
Yeah, I was just saying because I was thinking about what is possible for me. Other than the things that I've already told you, I think what is possible for me is freedom. I'm not perfect because I still make mistakes. I'm sure that I've made mistakes even during this interview, but the point is that I don't let them stop me now. And it's not that I don't care, because of course I care if I make mistakes, but it's more important for me to communicate. So what is possible for me now is this: is the freedom to connect, to express myself, and the freedom to be imperfect but still speak. Okay, so
Yeah. And I think that's key. And I think freedom is so much more critical for the human experience and for us speaking in a second language than perfection, than being accurate, than getting it right, than always saying the right thing. Because when you don't feel freedom, then you probably use 10% or 20% of what you know. And then you never show up. First of all, you never make the language accessible in and of itself, right? And also, you never have the confidence to show up authentically because you're always in your head, you're always limiting, you're always stifling. And I think this is huge what you just shared. Like telling yourself freedom and self-expression is more important to me than making mistakes. And even when you make mistakes, it doesn't destroy you, right? Like, and I think that when
no.
you understand that when you feel horrible, horrified, embarrassed, ashamed when you make a mistake, first of all, it's probably from some past trauma that you were, like you saw someone being humiliated or embarrassed, or you experienced it, whether it has to do with English or something else. And then that feeling, right, that feeling of shame, we try to avoid it so badly. Like we don't want to experience shame. So we would do everything, including eliminating our voice so that we wouldn't feel it. But when you're willing to feel those feelings and say, wait, actually it doesn't mean anything, then you're able to manage it. It's like you said about resistance. It will come up. Fear will come up. Shame will come up, right? But it's how you let it manage you and direct you. That's the question. And this is like how we grow as individuals, where we don't let those things, when we don't operate from these emotions, but from where we want to be and who we want to become.
Sometimes English learners might feel frustrated because might feel frustrated when they don't know something, they don't know some words in English. Because when you've been studying English for many years, for a long time, maybe people around you start asking questions like, "What's this word in English?" or "How do you express that in English?" And if you don't know the answer, you might feel like, "Oh my God, I've been studying all these years and I don't know the answer to that. What's wrong with me? You might feel like you might think that the other person. Oh my God! Now the other person will think that I'm stupid, that I'm wasting my time, and all that jazz. But I think that it's completely normal not to know everything in a language, even in our own language. Because, for example, when if somebody asks me about a specific term, a specific yeah, a technical term for us, in a certain job. For example, let's say for carpenters, maybe I know the names of some of the tools that the carpenters use in their job, but I'm sure that I don't know all of them, the names of all of them, and that's okay for me. Honestly, I don't feel that. If something like that happens in our native language and we don't feel that bad, why we have to feel like that if something like that happens in English? So I think we need to stop doubting yourself when something like that happens, and because that doesn't mean that we not able to speak English or that we are stupid, or it just means that we are human. No, that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And no one's perfect. And perfection is overrated anyway. It's boring, So
Yeah.
it really is like,
I'm so
you know,
passionate when I say this because I used to feel like that when people would ask me something like that and I didn't know the answer. Oh my God! So, yeah.
how has pronunciation helped you? What was the thing you did talk about your love for sounds, but what was it about learning it that that helped you change something or understand something?
Okay. So when I started this deep work on the sounds of English, first of all, the first thing the first thing that helped me was becoming aware of some sounds, because many times I think that when we don't have some sounds, some English sounds in our native language, I think we tend to replace them when we speak to the closest sounds that we have in our own language. I used to do that, and so, but doing this deep work helped me to be aware of all the sounds, and then we also, during the program, you also learn how to really recognize these sounds and to perceive them, you learn how to perceive these sounds, and then you learn how to reproduce them. And then you practice them you drill the sounds in isolation and in words, phrases and sentences, and then in speeches, and then the connected speech, and then prosody, vocal intonation, the stress, and I love that. But
Good student. I'm like, I love listening to every word and how you build it. Yes,
and I
I
think
agree.
that when you go deep on the sounds, on the pronunciation, I think, no, let me rephrase that. When you learn about the prosody of English, everything changes, because I think that prosody carries the meaning and the emotions of your message, of what you are saying, and that can change everything, because maybe you say something and you want to sound super confident, 100% sure, but because your intonation maybe is a little bit off, you end up sounding insecure, maybe even that you're searching for validation in the other person, so the other person might feel confused, what's the message here? And that's not good, I mean, when you are communicating. And so I think that's important, because the way you say words, your words it makes a difference. Because the same words may sound like you are excited or annoyed, or that you are sure, insecure, or
Bored. Yeah.
bored.
Angry.
Yes, depending on your intonation. So, and that's when you are aware of that, that's huge. That changes the way you communicate. Yeah, and I love that. And I think, another thing, I just want to mention, to just say what I say, another thing about prosody, because for sure prosody helps you to be clear and to sound confident. But I think most of all, it helps you be in control of your message, of the message you want to convey, and that's it.
Yes. And in how the message is going to be received too, right?
Yes,
Like not just the
yeah,
message you want to convey, and also what they are going to feel when they
yeah,
receive it.
yes,
So much
exactly.
like people think about, I just need to use the right words, right? And grammar and vocabulary, and then they say something and the other person feels like they're angry with them.
Yeah.
And I've had so many students experiencing that because the way they use their intonation and their voice, which was extremely friendly in their native language, for example, in the US where they were living now, like it sounded a little kind of like, you know, uh, aggressive or angry. So I think that understanding that is not just about changing how you sound, it's really about understanding what others expecting, and because at the end of the day you want your message to be clear because it serves you and you get what you want and you say what you think, and then you're also communicating well for the other person to to get what they need.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's such a good point. Such a good
yeah.
point. What is something that you are excited about that has nothing to do with English?
Oh boy. My niece and my nephew.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. Tell
yeah,
me about them.
I don't know. I just, again, it's like, it's like the question, why do you love them? I just love them. They are so cute, and I don't know. I spent
You
with
spend a lot of
them
quality time
most of,
together.
yes, a
Yeah.
lot. I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes can be tiring. I can be tiring, but I mean, I don't complain. I'm
Yeah.
lucky that I can
I
do that.
love
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What is one piece of advice you would give someone listening to us right now? And maybe they are insecure, they don't know what their next step is, they want to experience a breakthrough and they don't know what to do. What would you recommend for them?
Like say, if I could go back in time and and tell myself and give myself a piece of advice, I think the first one that I would say would be just do it. I mean, just start. I would say I would say don't wait until you feel like it's the right. If until you feel ready, don't wait until you know more. Don't wait until you are more prepared. Don't wait until you feel like it's the right moment, because we know that the right moment, that moment will never come. So you just need to jump in and start. And if that resonates with you, yeah, you don't try to find excuses to postpone this moment out of fears. Maybe you just need to take a small step. That's it. Just a small step, and then another one, and then another one, and all those small steps will take you further than you think. So if that resonates with you, don't waste your time. Just start now. I mean, not tomorrow, not later. Start this very
Now.
second.
Go
Now.
do something that you've been thinking about doing that scares you,
Yeah.
that maybe, even if it's just like spend 10 minutes a day practicing something, start now.
Yes, I
Yeah,
mean,
it doesn't
because
have
the
to be
key,
big.
yeah, the key is to be consistent. You don't have to practice for hours and hours and hours a day. First of all, because it is not sustainable, because life doesn't allow doesn't allow us to do that,
Life is
and
busy. Yeah.
yeah, and so just 10 minutes a day, they will make a huge difference, because those 10 minutes a day will become your results. But of course, it has to be 10 minutes every single day. I mean, not 10 minutes every, once in a while, because that won't take you anywhere. So be consistent, small steps.
This is such a golden advice. And even if it doesn't resonate with you, because you said if it resonates with you, but I'm saying even if it doesn't resonate with you, take that advice, because this is the key to success with everything. And I've experienced that with everything in my life. Start before you're ready. Start now. Start small. Just start, right? Don't let your brain talk you out of not doing the things that you want to do. That's the most important thing.
Stop limiting yourself, because
And stop
most of the
limiting
times
yourself.
most of the
Yeah.
times we are our own obstacles. So
Yeah.
change
Exactly.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so beautiful to end it with that. Before we go, I'm just going to say we talked about two programs. I'm going to put the links below. We talked about Beyond, which is our English fluency community, and we talked about New Sound, which is our um, structured pronunciation program. So if you're curious about this, I'm going to link it below. And that's it. And Elisa, I love you so much. I
Love you
appreciate
too.
you. I really I'm in awe by all the things that you do. I'm in awe by your transformation from, from accent makeover and the first few months of Beyond. And I'm grateful for all that you bring to the community and to my life. And thank you for
Thank you.
everything. I wish you
Same
all the best.
here. So we'll sum up by saying same here. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for staying all the way to the end. And thank you, Elisa, for this beautiful conversation. And I want to reiterate and repeat what Elisa said. The most important thing is to start before you're ready. Don't wait to be ready. Don't wait for something to happen to do the thing that you want to do. Do it today. It has worked for her. It has worked for so many people who had a goal and they did what it took to get to that goal. And I'm inviting you to do that today. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the day, and I will see you next week in the next video. Bye.